I thought I would do a 2-for-1 video today and go ahead and swatch both of these new palettes. One is the Viseart Grande Pro Volume 1 and the other one is the Fenty Beauty Galaxy eyeshadow palette. I've got both of them on my lids today and I've used both of these eyeshadow palettes a couple times so far, and I feel like the one's an all matte and the other one is all shimmer and glitter, so I feel like they're good pairing palettes, and that's kind of how I've been using both of them, is together. So I thought it would be fun to do that, and I did do a demo with these palettes, which is the look that I'm wearing, and that'll be towards the end of the video if you're interested in that. I'm going to go ahead and start off with the Viseart Grande Pro Volume 1. I was lucky enough to get this sent to me from Alphonse and Anastasia, who is the owner of Viseart. I also, prior to me getting this, I did pre-order the palette when it did go live. I think it's been 2 weeks ago, and they're going to start shipping out early November. I want the backup too. I'm not gonna lie. So I did get this particular one sent to me, but I have one on pre-order as well. So this eyeshadow palette has 30 eyeshadows in it, and each pan is 0.065 ounces per shade. The ones that are in the normal 12 size pan palettes are 0.07, so there's ever so slightly a smaller amount of product in this palette than there are in those, but the pans are the same size. This palette is expensive, but when you compare it to the price of like the $80 for the 12 pan, I think it's a really good value, and you just can't beat. And you guys know this already about me, that I'm nuts over Viseart eyeshadows, and in particular their mattes. You really can't beat the quality and the amount of product that you get in here for the price. If you're a pro member with Muse Beauty Pro, you can get it for $140, and I think it's debuting on November 4th at the Makeup Show LA as well, so you can get it early there. And I wanted to read to you what it says on the website too, because it says contains organic ingredients not tested on animals, no parabens, gluten, petrochemicals, silicone, or mineral oils. They only made 3,000 of these, so the quantities are limited. I just checked on the website and they are still available for the pre-sale, however. And this one came in a box that's got Muse Beauty Pro's sticker on it, and then the palette itself comes in a really, it's chic. It's just a chic sleeve that's kind of got the what is this called, like the textured surface on it, and it goes in there. And then the palette itself is like a larger Theory palette with the little opening that goes like that. It opens like that, and then there is a plastic sleeve on here, and you can actually tip this upside down, and the cover folds so you can use it kind of like an easel and set it up to use it. There is a video that SF Steph, or Stephanie Nicole here on YouTube, did with Anastasia and Alphonse, which I'll link that down below, because they kind of explain the whole palette, and it's a nice video, so I'm going to link that down below for some really intricate information on it. Another thing that's super awesome about this is the pans remove much the same as the Theory palettes do. Very interchangeable, so you can use the Theory packaging and kind of put a 6-pan and mix and match if you have some of the Theory palettes, or you can also pop these in a different, magnetic palette as well, but they have a little groove in there. I have a magnet that I got off of Beautylish. It was like $1 or $2. It just looks like that, and these are what I use to pull out like magnetic pans, but they just pull out like that. So I've used this a couple times so far, and it's crazy because every time I get on this path of using other eyeshadows, are trying out different products and stuff like that, and every time that I go back to a Viseart matte eyeshadow, I'm just like, ugh, that's why I love them so much, because they literally almost blend themselves. These are no different. They're really awesome. I didn't have any fallout on my face, and I've used this. Today's look is the 3rd time that I've used this palette. They're very pigmented. Another thing that's really nice about these is you can mix between the shades and create different colors, and it does it really, really well without like getting into a muddy area, if that makes any sense. Like today, through the crease, it looks kind of red. I mixed this orange in with this fuchsia kind of pink shade to create a red, because there isn't a matte red in there, and it worked out really great. That's another selling point for me for Viseart shadows. I don't think I have to talk too much about my love for the brand, because if you've been watching me for any length of time, you already know that. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom up close and give you guys some swatches. So here is the sleeve right here, and then here is the palette, and it says Grande Pro Volume 1, which I'm super excited about this Volume 1 part, because that leads me to believe that there's going to be a Volume 2, 3, 4, hopefully. And then the back says Viseart, and I believe this is Alphonse and Anastasia's signature on there, if I'm not mistaken. And then you open it like so, and it comes down. There's a mirror, and then here is the sleeve over the top, and there are your eyeshadows. So let's go ahead and swatch these ones. And then these two, I guess I'll do them by threes, like that. Just keep going. But even, you know, on those lighter shades, you can just see the pigmentation on them. And then these guys. Keep going. And these next three. Getting into some of the darker shades. And these guys. Ugh, that blue though. It's one thing I was like thinking about, like if they're coming to do a volume 2, if it's gonna be like the greens and the yellows and blues and turquoises and stuff like that, because that's like the only blue shade in here. Well, there's kind of a gray blue, but and then these guys. Oh, I need a better swatch of this. The texture of this one does feel a little bit dry. Then again, matte purples typically do. And then this orange, black, and this one's like a bluish purple eggplant, I guess, matte, dark matte. And then the last three. All very dark, but you can see that they have a noticeably different undertone to them. Out of all the shades in here, this purple is kind of the driest, most grittiest feeling one. And they're kind of categorized in rows going this way from highlight to deepening up, and then this row right here is the intensify shade for each row, is kind of how they do it. I'm one of those people who just go in all over the place. Sort of needless to say, I'm in love with this palette. A full 30 shades of matte eyeshadows from one of my favorite matte eyeshadow brands, Viseart. Living for it. Again, a big thank you to Muse Beauty Pro, Alphonse, and Anastasia for sending this to me. I'm looking forward to getting my backup too. Is that weird? Because I already have this one, but... So moving on, the palette that I've been pairing with the Viseart palette has been the Fenty Beauty Galaxy eyeshadow palette. This is a palette full of all glitter shades. I'm living for the holographic packaging. This is actually a textured glitter that's on here. Normally I'm pretty decent about throwing the boxes away, but for some reason I feel like I want to keep this one. This was $59 and I purchased it off of the Sephora website. And there are 14 shades in this one that are 0.04 ounces per shade, which is mid-range in terms of the amount of product that you're getting. The packaging itself is a hard plastic. It's got a nice weight to it. It does collect fingerprints, but I'm living for the, again, the holographic type shifting. Well, it actually looks like an oil slick kind of thing, like the shift that you get when you look at like oil. There's a sticker on the back too that has the names of the eyeshadows. I do think it's a little difficult to open. Like each time I go to open it, the little clasp in there is kind of, hang on. Got it. So it leans back about that far and you can adjust it and it does stay. It has a decent sized mirror in it, and then on this side it does say Fenty Beauty in there. And then here are your eyeshadows. I think I've used every single shade in here except for this blue. And when I first used them, it instantly, and I've heard this from other people too, they are very similar. They're very, very similar to the Urban Decay Moondust eyeshadows. I'm actually going to swatch one from my Moondust eyeshadow palette against one like this, and you can see just how similar they are. This is a lot of glitter. You do get fallout with these eyeshadows. There's a few flecks of glitter under my eyes throughout the day, so if that's not something you're into, you probably won't like this, or use a really sticky or glitter glitter base to use them, and that will help with that. The base that I use is the NYX eyeshadow base, which is tacky in itself. I have got these two purple shades, these three shades right here on my lid today, paired with the Viseart palette. The other day I actually grabbed my 12 pan Viseart neutral eyeshadow palette and paired it with these greens and one of these browns, and the look turned out so pretty. But this is a great one for pairing for me. I like shiny shades like this with shifts in it on the eyelid anyway, so I really do like this palette. I really like the Urban Decay Moondust eyeshadow palette as well. But I know not everybody is going to love a glitter bomb eyeshadow palette, but the packaging is super cool. This is something that's right up my alley, and it does pair awesome with an all matte eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom up close and give you guys some swatches of this guy too. So here's the box packaging that the palette comes in. It's really pretty packaging. And then here is the palette itself, and then the back here. These do have a little bit of a grit to them. Again, they have a lot of sparkle and shine, something that I love. Another thing I like about these is there is enough pigmentation to them. Instead of just being a tons of sparkle, you get color with them. Distinguishable color. This turquoise. I do have a bit of this turquoise. I forgot I put it over the purple, and it added a nice dimension to those colors. And then this brownish colored one, red. Yeah, I think the blue's the only color I didn't wear. And that's got a ton of pigmentation to it. And then these last two. And then for colors, here it is next to the Urban Decay Moondust eyeshadow palette. I want to swatch without dropping and breaking anything, hopefully. This color right here next to this color right here. They're very similar shades. You can see just kind of how similar they are. I've really been enjoying both of these eyeshadow palettes. You really can't go wrong. I feel like with the Viseart one, it's going to pair with a ton of different stuff, and it also looks really pretty by itself. I actually wore an all matte look yesterday with just this palette, which I like never do. There's always got to be some shine, but it was still so pretty. I mean, they're matte eyeshadows. It pairs great with the shiny ones. The shiny ones will pair great with a ton of other palettes as well. I do feel like, well, at least for me, these are pairing palettes. Like I'll pair them each with something else. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Now if you want to see how these went on for me in the look that's on my eyes right now, you can hang tight and we'll get into it right now. I'm going to prime my eyes with the NYX eyeshadow base. I'm just going to use that from the lash line to right underneath the brow. Then using a Gossamer 18, I'm going to go into the shade Ultraviolet right there and start packing that kind of on the center of the lid. And I'm going to bring it up above the crease. Using the same brush, I'm going to go into the shade Space Out right there and pack that on the outer portion of the lid and blend it inwards. I used the greens in this palette the other day and the look just turned out awesome. I'm just going to pack this out here. I'm waiting for the mailman. He should be bringing me the new 6-pan Colored Rain palettes. I'm like so excited about it. Again, with the same brush, I'm going to go into the shade Meteor Crush right there and just put that in front of the ultraviolet shade. I've got a bit of fallout, so I'm going to go ahead and brush that off right away. Then using a Check Out How to GSN 9 brush, I'm going to dip between this orange, this bright orange, and this kind of fuchsia pink, more so with the orange, but picking up a little bit of pink, and it should, it's going to form like a red, because there really isn't a red in the palette, so Viseart eyeshadows mixed together like that really nice to create shades. So that's what route we're gonna go here. Oh my gosh, this kitty. They've been knocking things down and breaking things in this room lately, and it's driving me crazy. Let's put a little bit more fuchsia in there to bring out more red in that. Then using a Dakota J5523 brush, I'm going to go into the orange and then this color, kind of back and forth between those and start blending out. The colors are just put down through here. The blend on these shadows is just crazy. I was reaching for some of my 12-pan palettes after I hadn't used them for a while, and it gets me every time because I'm just like, oh, I don't have a drop of fallout on my face either from the Viseart. I did have a little bit with the glitter from the Fenty palette though. I'm going to take a Esom G29 brush and go into the second shade down right here and put that underneath the brow. Oh, this little cat. She's like on one, man. Some people have asked what the little kitties' names are. And it's Poppy and Cara Della Kitty. I'm going to use that Dakota 5523 brush. I'm not picking up any more product, but I'm going to fade that up a little bit through up to the highlight. I want a little bit more brightness on the lid. The purple kind of is a little bit darker. I'm going to go into the Cosmic Ocean, which is that bright blue. I'm going to just pack it over there and smush it into the purple shade. Yeah, that creates nice dimension too. So there's the shadow done. I'm going to go ahead and finish up my eye makeup, and I'll be right back to put on some lips for you guys. For lips, I've got Charlotte Tilbury's Lip Cheat, and this is in the shade Pink Venus. I'm going to go ahead and line my lips and kind of fade it inwards. And then to fill them in, I've got the Fenty Beauty Hyper Glitz lipstick, and this is in the shade Starlit. So go ahead and fill them in. So there is the overall finished look using the new Viseart Grande Pro Volume 1 and also the Fenty Beauty Galaxy eyeshadow palette. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.